helping out. So I think that's where I learned a lot of it.
Well, you put that wall in upstairs when you were, what, 14?
Oh, I was younger than that.
No, like
13
10 or
somewhere.
Yeah, I was 10 or 12.
One in the middle room? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I wasn't much older than Tyler is now.
Okay.
Well, that's like when I got to Iraq, the day we hit ground, I was working with wood. And I didn't know, like, everything I know now is phenomenal compared to what I knew then. And it was like we said, inherited genius for figuring this stuff out. And literally day one, I was taking apart some wooden system that the previous unit had and retrofitting it into bunk beds for us. And it really is in the blood. I was just, this goes here, and we used to build, I mean, who builds clubhouses to code? We had 16-inch center studs in our clubhouses in Mom's backyard. I was 4 or 5.
Well, that 2-story one, remember that one?
We had a 2-story, 16-inch center, probably, you know, like 2x12 floor.
They had a blast on that.
House edition, and we tried to dig a basement in a tunnel.
Oh, we're good at tunnels. We were great at tunnels.
Yeah, until Tammy tried to climb up in that one that he's talking about, she almost fell down. Who did? Tammy.
Yeah, didn't somebody's older brother come and destroy it because Tammy got hurt in hers? I remember somebody.
I don't
Jason's older brother got
know.
on
It's either
that.
that or I made you guys tear it down because of it. I don't remember.
I was not a part of the destruction, and I was not happy about that.
Well.
Oh.
At 440, no, at 470 in Pittsburgh, Lynn and I, and it might have been just the 2 of us, although there might have been a neighbor or somebody. Okay, just the 2 of us. We went back in the back area of the yard, and we started digging, and we dug, and we dug, and we dug, and we got this huge hole
Foxhole.
foxhole that we could both get into and move around in, and we played in it. And I don't remember what happened to it.
It filled up after a bad rain.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't think Mom made us fill it up. But we had more fun just in the process of digging it.
Remember the earthworms?
No.
Lots of earthworms as we were digging.
Oh, I would have been terrified.
You were. Everyone throwing them at you.
So mean. I got one.
Good, go.
I can't think what it was. Help.
Take your time, it'll come back.
I remember back when you was little 449, I was like 4 or 5, something, I don't know. I was in the backyard, the front yard, one of them. I was flying around on the back face and whatnot. And
the big huge train set?
Mhm.
Remember, had good memories about the big train set.
Yeah.
Being Brett, that was a neat train set. Do you remember the trestle?
Yeah.
You want to talk about the trestle at all?
It was big.
It was big. That's right. It was big. Neat.
Well, since we're on the subject of trains, I remember in 2nd grade, every Friday afternoon, we were supposed to bring someone in to give a basically elaborate show and tell. Most people brought their parents or their siblings or something like that. But I was at the end of the alphabet, so I had plenty of time to think of something, different to do. And so I picked Papa. Papa came in, do you remember this? And gave a talk to my 2nd grade class about his train set and his experiences with model railroading. And he was really prepared. He did things on the chalkboard, he showed pictures, maybe even slides. I'm not sure what all he did. But I think he brought in some Lionel gauge trains to show off. And that was just the beginning, because then you came over to our house in St. Louis and helped me set up a train set there. Then we moved to Phoenix. You came and helped recreate the same train set, but we had to do almost all the work all over again. You did almost all the work all over again. I think it was an excuse for Papa to tinker with yet another train set. Space in his own basement. So.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of enjoyment out of all the trains. And like Chuck was saying, you know, it's a chance. Papa took any chance he could to communicate his knowledge of how to work with his hands and make things and fix things and be creative and just, you know, I think it's something that clearly is in our blood. It's, you know, we can't get away from. It's great. It's a fantastic skill and gift and everything to have, and it's, you know, serves us all well every single day. So I really appreciate the fact that Papa was able to take every chance he could to really communicate that and share that with us.
Anybody else?
Can we, I want to hear about when you two met Papa for the first time.
Well, what's you start on that one,
What?
I can't even remember the first time.
At Simpson. At Simpson. Wasn't it?
Yeah, that would have been it. Yeah, it would have been Simpson College, because we were going together really in junior year.
No.
No, senior?
Uh-huh.
Senior year. As you can see.
Marty.
Good mistake. No,
Hi.
fine. Anyway, actually, I can't remember the very first time I met your papa. I really can't. Actually, my favorite memory is our wedding day. Right after the wedding, Papa came up to me and he said, "The name is Dad."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's neat.
The name is Dad's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite memory. And it's always stuck with me. And it was his way of welcoming me into the family. And like Andy said, he takes about every opportunity he can to help us out. When we first bought our house and live in now, Dad was there, and we had to take up an old carpet in the house. I don't know why I couldn't help that much. He did all the work. All of it. I mean, he took that carpet up, and there were nails all over that thing. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting it to be tacked down around the edge. No, it was crisscrossed all over.
Oh my
And
God.
he was down on his hands and knees, and he pried up every single nail and stapled. And as I said, I don't remember what the occasion was that I couldn't help that much, but he did. He did all that work. He tore out all that carpet, threw it away for us, and helped us with the painting and things while he was there. He just a superb job. He really did. We had beautiful wood floors underneath that carpet. We left them that way since. And so, as I said, I appreciate that. I don't know if I've ever really said thank you in that, but actually there's many, many things that he's done over the years. All of them kind of pop up in your memory every now and then, but none of them just that cumulatively back. You know. I felt welcomed and loved in this family ever since I met him. Anyway.
Yeah, me too.
Your turn now.
Well, I don't, this was not the first time that I met you, but it was the first conversation I had with you. Lynn and I had met in early December of '73. And in the, about the middle of the month, she had gone to Florida as part of Christmas break to spend time with Kay and her parents. And I knew when she was coming back. So I decided a day or two before that I'd like to meet her at the airport. And I thought, well, I'm guessing I had to have at least had some idea of where you live because I know I went to the phone book and found the phone number. And I called the house. Do you remember this? Probably not. And it was one evening, and I introduced myself, and I assumed that I don't think that we had met. I don't think there was any reason why I would have gone to the house before then. There was nothing that I can think of there. So it was a matter of you having to trust that I was on the up and up. And I said, I'd like to meet Lynn when she returns from Florida. I don't know whether I knew the flight or not, but I think I had to ask for that information, and then had to, in effect, ask permission to be the one to meet her and bring her home. And I have a picture when she came down the jetway, or not the jetway, through the concourse. As she was approaching me, I snapped a picture of her, and that's one of the ones I need to eventually transfer digitally to the computer, so that
You still have it, that's very.
oh yeah, it's someplace among the slides. So yeah.
I said, how did you get here? Osmosis.
So did you talk on the phone then with him?
Yeah,
Did you have a
yeah,
conversation?
I talked to him to get that information and to get permission to be the one to bring her home.
Okay, cool.
I have a memory of you when I was 7 years old, or 8 years old, around there.
Can't hear you, honey.
I have a memory of you when I was 7 or 8 years old, and I remember going down into your basement, and I was just a friend of a friend's kid, and I was in your basement, and I remember you turned the whole thing on, and you had a conductor hat on, and you went behind a wall that I couldn't see, and I thought there must be 1,000 buttons there, because there were so many things and trains, and I thought you must have a button for everything in there, and I just thought you must be in there, pressing, controlling everything, and I just thought, wow, that's really cool.
Well, I think I probably ought to add a memory to when I first met you, Dad. And I am very clear of when I first met you. Chuck and I went to the College of Worcester in Ohio. And the first night on campus, that guy ended up leaving his shoe in the pile with all of the shoes of all the first-year students. And it was a black and white saddle shoe, and I thought, this would be pretty easy to find anybody who has a black and white saddle shoe.
You should explain what the pile was about, though.
Shoes, yeah, they were to put your shoe in the center, and then you took the shoe out, and then that was who you danced the first dance with. It was a mixer. So I had met him the first night on campus. Well, I had had some unsavory experiences with certain young men in high school, and I really was not in the mood to meet anyone the first day on campus or the first week on campus. I thought I could live just perfectly fine without any complicating men in my life for a fair long period of time.
I like how you throw the word complicated in there.
And Chuck didn't seem to have that same view, so there was a little tension that first 6 weeks or so we were on campus. At homecoming, well, at Parents' Weekend, this is 1965. 61. On Parents' Weekend, these folks show up in Ohio from Pittsburgh. And so, along with Sue, who was 6, and the rest of the gang. And so, Mom and Dad were very gracious and took us out to dinner, and we went to a football game and whatever, and during that time too. But what I remember of that weekend was Chuck was outside his dormitory, and you were leaving in your car to go back home. And I was saying goodbye to everybody, and I remember hugging Sue and saying goodbye to the sisters. And then Mother said goodbye very warmly, and that fella hugged me and kissed me.
He knew.
And I said to myself, is this a plus or a minus? father treat some picked-up girlfriend this way after a month at college? I mean, do I feel good about this or not? I like these people. But then we dated off and on all through college and 2 years beyond that. But my parents always said that they knew and that you folks knew we would be married before we did. So that's kind of my memory. And to sum that up, as a result of that, you both have been parents to me longer than my biological parents. Mother by about 12 years and you by about, I think we said about 3 years. So these folks are very important in my life and have been parents to me all along. And for that I say thank you.
I can remember when I was in school during the summer, I'd go on business trips with you. Go on business trips with you to like Campbell and Clarksville. And that was fun, just spend, one-on-one. So, and then spend time down there working on the train.
Yeah, that train is pretty important.
Yeah, exciting, Marty.
Does anybody not remember the train?
Yeah, Jamie.
Jamie and maybe Jay.
Braden remembers the train.